What's up, cousins? Welcome back to my channel. It's your country cousin Amber, and if this is your very first time visiting my channel, I call all my subscribers my cousins because in the South everybody got a cousin. Before we get started with the video, I do want to tell you guys that this probably is going to be a two-part series type video type situation, just because I don't feel like I'm going to be able to get all the info I want to get in on this video. I wrote down some things that I wanted to remember to address, but also I know you guys are going to have questions and things like that. So if you guys just check right below me and make sure that you are subscribed to my channel so you don't miss any of the content that I'm sure you're interested in, because if you weren't interested in it, then you probably wouldn't be clicking this video. Okay, so first and foremost, this video is pretty much going to be for the established blogger, the person who already has their YouTube channel up and running, who already has like created a brand for themselves, who already is actively working on their YouTube channel. This is not going to be like one of the whole like, and if you guys hear like jiggling going around, that is Dubby, that's her collar. Whenever I go to film, you guys know she act a fool. But like I was saying, this is not going to be like a how to start a YouTube channel video, just because I don't really understand what is the value in those videos, because it's just as simple as to do it. Like I talk about this on my Instagram all the time. If you want to start a YouTube channel, you have to just do it. And I feel like with the generation that we're growing up in, with everything being so kind of like fast, quick and easy, everything kind of like at a click of a button, people are approaching their YouTube channel the same way. People are just kind of always like, how do I start a YouTube channel? I don't know how to get started, yada 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 yada. And every time I get questions like that, all I hear is, I literally want you to walk me through the steps on how to be successful. Because if it was just how to start a YouTube channel, how to start a YouTube channel is to film a video and upload it to YouTube. This video is not going to be the video for you. That's what I should say, because this is going to be more along the lines of people who are just wanting to know exactly how to quantify their worth. I get a lot of questions like that as well, and you guys are the people that I want to address, because I'm just gonna keep it 100% real with y'all. I'm gonna give y'all a lot of tough love in this video. If you are watching this video and you have not even created a YouTube channel yet, you are jumping way ahead of yourself. You cannot go into YouTube not wanting to do something just because you don't know how to be successful at it right off the bat. I feel like I'm saying everything that every other YouTuber is saying, but you're going about it the wrong way and your momentum is going to be gone. That's why you see a lot of people, they'll create a YouTube channel, it won't get the views that they think it should get, or they run into like a little rut and their next few videos aren't getting the views that they think it should get, and then they quit or they lose the desire. And it's like, was that desire ever really there? So now that that disclaimer is out of the way, because I don't answer those kind of questions, because those kind of questions just read as very lazy to me, I want to help you guys that literally have taken the time to build your brand, to cultivate it, to be consistent with it, like, and you just, now you're starting to get brand offers, or you wanting to know how to work with brands and you don't know how to charge people. And I'm going to give you a number of different ways that you can do this, because these aren't the only ways, but these are the most rudimentary ways, and these are the basic way to start out. Now, I'm not saying that this is the end all be all to how you should charge people on YouTube. I just want to give you guys a baseline platform. So just starting on the basics of the basics, like how do I start to work with companies? How do I get brands to reach out to me? How do I make myself look appealing to brands for them to even want to offer me money to put this on my YouTube? Essentially, brands are going to look at four main things when they're deciding if they want to work with you. No matter what platform you're on, you can use this across the board. You can also use this on Instagram. This does work for Instagram as well. Facebook is a little different. Facebook on all kind of like scales of like advertisement, promotion, Facebook just still kind of is in a class of its own, but this will work for your YouTube or your Instagram. Follower count, follower engagement, post quantity, and post quality. So I'm gonna briefly break down each one of those things for you guys, because I sometimes feel like people kind of confuse some of them, and also people don't understand the importance of having every single one of these things, because missing any one of these things could result in a drop in what a brand is gonna offer you. So number one is the first one is the most basic one, is gonna look at your follower count. We all know that in today's world of followers and likes and like Instagram, YouTube celebrities, it's all about how many followers you have, and that is obvious. A company is going to look at how many followers you have, because it's going to look at how many people they can potentially reach by promoting through you. Now, with that being said, we know that there is a lot of purchased followers going on around here, especially on Instagram. I've never really heard of anybody buying YouTube subscribers. I don't think that like that is a thing, but people definitely buy Instagram followers all the time. And not to like put anybody on blast, but this is gonna lead directly into my second point on what companies look at, because people are buying followers. That is why this second thing is so important. So that leads me to the number two thing that companies look at, which was follower engagement. So the number one way that you can really tell if somebody's followers are real or not is just look at their life. Look at the people who are actively having conversations with that channel, that page, whatever. If you're seeing somebody and they have like 300K on Instagram, but their posts are only averaging like 100 likes per post, ain't that much off in the algorithm in the world. I'm just gonna be 100% honest with you. The algorithm will mess people up. But with that being said, also keep in mind that just statistically, you guys can look this up, usually only about 10% of your followers are actually going to actively engage with you after they follow you, and that is on you. Brands are looking at post engagement for two reasons. Number one, to make sure that your followers are real. That's number one. But number two, they're looking at your post engagements, because if you can't even get people to engage with you on your post, the brand is not going to trust you to get people to buy their product. Basically, essentially, that's what they're doing. They're coming to you. They want you to try their product because they want people to see it in your hands, and they want people to trust your judgment, trust your opinion, and buy their product. The third thing that brands look at is post quality. Now, this one can kind of vary because it depends on what area of YouTube and Instagram and self-branding you are in. It's gonna depend on like what your field is and how you've built your brand. For example, I am sitting behind this lovely white backdrop, really clean background. I am wearing hair by Julia Hair. I know you guys are gonna ask, so I have it placed nice strategically here in the background. This video is not sponsored whatsoever. However, I did this like this on purpose because I wanted to show you like what a typical or what like your average beauty guru setup is going to look like. This is a beauty guru setup. You've seen tons of beauty gurus set up like this, where there's a colorful background, the glitter background that I feel like we all have had at some point or the other. But typically, if you're a beauty guru, you want something that has a clean background. So many times people will reach out to me in my DMs and they're just asking me like, why am I not growing? Why is my channel not growing? Why is brands not reaching out to me? And it has a lot to do with, you know, your quality. Like, how much time are you spending on your product to make brands want to give you money? And I understand the equipment struggle. I understand everybody doesn't have time. But at the end of the day, that is another excuse, because there are a lot of cheap ways, and I talked about this on my Instagram. This is one reason why I want to make a part 2. There are a lot of cheap ways to make sure that your content looks quality. And then number 4, which is also very important and is also another big pet peeve of mine, is post quantity. Consistency is everything, and we talk about this more so when it comes to growing your brand, but consistency ties into so many different things that I don't understand why people aren't at the very least having this concept tackled before anything else. Be consistent over a course of time so that people grow to trust your consistency. Like, because if you're only gonna be, and I'm guilty of this, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if y'all remember this, but it was a period of time where I did not touch my YouTube for like 8 months. and I didn't see any growth from that either. When you are consistent, it's gonna A, grow your following, which was point number one that brands look for, but then B, when you're consistent, brands look for that because they are not wanting to post or pay somebody to post on their page who only posts once a month or twice a month or even like once a week. Like, I know life gets hectic, it gets in the way, and there isn't always time for you to post every single day. But if you really want to start making like money off of this junk, you have to treat it like a job. You go to work every single day, you need to work on your brand every single day, you need to be posting something every single day. But you do need to make sure that you are consistent because brands are looking at how consistently you post because they want to know, heck, if your followers are even gonna be there when you come back. Like, if you aren't consistent, followers are very fickle, y'all. Like, if you disappear, they gonna disappear on you too. And so if you pop back up, a brand is not gonna trust that if you pop back up and the first thing you popping back up with is an ad. We've all experienced that. We will have our fave and they will totally disappear on our ads for weeks, and they come back up and the first post is an ad, and you like, I mean, good, kudos to you. And y'all know how I feel, like, get your coin, sis, but kudos to you. But like, dang, like the first time you got something to say to us is when you just want to, you know, sell us something. So now that we've covered the 4 things that brands actually look at, and you need to make sure that you have all 4 of those bases covered, because again, this is going to play a role in whether or not a brand is going to want to work with you. They're going to look at those things when they're assessing your value. So that's why I made sure that we covered this first. Now we're going to look into the top 3 ways that beginners can use to assess their value. When I was first starting out, I used a lot of these things. I've also given advice to my fellow YouTubers for this, and this has worked for them. This is just going to be, again, a baseline. So this first way is actually a tip that I've given to a lot of fellow YouTubers who have asked me this, and they said that it helped. It just gives you a baseline to begin to understand where your value ranges. Now, I'm not saying that everybody you quote this price to is going to give you what you asked for. So number 1 is a website called Social Blue Book. You may or may not be familiar with it, not to be confused with Social Blade. We'll talk about that in just a second. But Social Blue Book is literally a tool specifically for influencers to assess their value and to determine what to charge influencers for what kind of post they want. It is free to use. All you have to do is go to socialbluebook.com, type in your information. I do think that it asks you to log in because it does need to get into like your follower system. I can't remember if the very first time it asked me to put a password in. I'll check that, but I'll put it like right here so you guys see what I'm saying. And it is the most like detailed, helpful, beginner friendly type of situation. That's why I send a lot of YouTubers who ask me this, I send them there because it literally breaks down every single thing for you. But then most importantly, it will show you not just what your posts are valued, but a range. And it'll give you like, okay, if you want to charge them on the really low range, charge them this. If you want to charge them on the really high range, charge them this. Make sure that you are refreshing it because it's gonna only pop up the last time that you calculated your values. But if you worked really hard and you hit refresh and your follower count has grown, your engagement has gone up, then your value is gonna go up. So make sure that it's like, it's almost like a reward system. It's like, hey, I can see like my price, the bag going up, the bag going up. If that is gonna be what you decide to use as your value scale, you also have to not get discouraged, y'all, because, and I want to say this, I'm gonna say this a couple times in this video, do not get discouraged just because a couple of companies tell you no. Whether or not you want to give somebody a discount, whether or not you want to lower the price that they quoted you, because 9 times out of 10 it's going to turn into this whole haggle process. And you're gonna, the more that you do it, the more you're going to learn the business. But at the same time, you have to understand your value, know the value of your work, and not let people play you. So do not be discouraged if the very first couple of times you start sending people, you know, your price and don't nobody get back to you. Like, do not let that turn you away because it happens to everybody. You have to make sure those first 4 things are in order so that when you come to them and you slide that number on over on the table, you can back up what you're asking for. This is kind of where Social Blade plays more into it. I don't know if you've ever like visited Social Blade. Social Blade is more of like a just to me, I feel like it's more of like just like a curiosity type thing, and just kind of see where people rank, and kind of for you to kind of see where you rank and see your projections and things like that. But you can type anybody's name in. Like if y'all want to, y'all can go in and type Finally Amber on Social Blade and see where my ranking is, and see, you know, what they project my annual income to be or my monthly income to be. And that's one way that I'm just like, if you really want to count somebody's pockets, I guess you could do that. That's why I'm not really worried about it, because Social Blade essentially will kind of let you count people's pockets, but Social Blade is so wrong. Like they undercut a lot of stuff a lot of times, and I'm just like, oh, okay, sure, okay. Because what Social Blade doesn't factor into, like all it's factoring in is technically like your YouTube revenue, and like their projections based upon like how many views you got that month, how many followers you got that month, and what your projections for the next couple of months are. That's how they calculate what they feel like your revenue is. But what Social Blade doesn't calculate into that is that what we're talking about right here, which is like outsourcing, like outside branding. Essentially every YouTuber is a freelance person, so hopefully, I know YouTube has done a lot of like switching around to, you know, who can get paid, and you gotta have this many hours and all that. So hopefully if you are somebody who is has made it to the stage where you're getting a YouTube check, you already understand that YouTube is not primarily where most YouTubers get their money, or I should say directly from YouTube. The majority of an influencer's money is gonna come from outside branding. And for me, I just feel like Social Blade is just like the great equalizer, the great humbler. Like if you really think like you just out here like doing something and you don't really need to put in work, go on Social Blade, see what your grade is, see how long it's projecting you and what you're doing right now, how long it's projecting you to get to your goals, and it will humble you real quick. So the number 2 way that you can begin to assess what you should be charging people is something called the rule of 100s. You probably have heard of this before, or maybe you haven't if you're watching this video, but it's just like again, one of the most basic ways that YouTubers start determining what they should charge people. Basically, all the rule of 100s says is that for every 10,000 subscribers you have, you should be charging $100. So if you have 10,000 subscribers, you should be charging $100 for the video. 20,000, $200, 30,000, $300, so on and so forth. So full disclaimer, a lot of people don't like to use this rule because they feel like, dang, I wasn't charging anybody, and here I am with 40K, and now I'm charging, you know, $400. Or on the other scale of that, I do know YouTubers who don't use that, and they're like, baby, I can get way more than $400, you know, for my 40K subscribers, because I know that my engagement is high, I know that my video view count is high. I didn't really touch on that in this video because I'm gonna touch on it in a different video. But you know, everybody's 40K ain't the same. So you could be sitting at 40K, but the videos that you putting out only averaging like 400 views per video, and then the next person next to you could be sitting at 40K and every video they putting out is averaging like 20,000 views. That means on average half of their subscribers, because then you also have like new subscribers hopefully coming in every day. But what a brand is looking at is on average half of their subscribers are engaged with every single video that they put out. So that is one reason why people don't typically like to use the rule of 100, because it's just like my 80K don't look like the next person's 80K, and they 40K don't look like they 40K, and this 50K don't look like this 50K. So that's kind of like the pros and the cons. There's pros and cons of all these, but that's one reason why people don't like to use it. But again, if you're just looking for somewhere to start, you can start with that. And then the number 3 most basic way that you can start to assess your value is just simply the rule of time and effort. Charge for your time, depending on what kind of content they're asking you to put out, depending on what kind of video they want, how many platforms they want to promote it on, you know, how many pictures do they want, how long did the video be, what do they want you to do in the video? Is it just to style your hair? Do you need to get in the shower? Is this something that is going to take you days to do? You're making this amount of dollars an hour, this amount of dollars for my time, I'm going to add that in, my time in, plus what my rate is. Like, if it's going to take me more than my standard filming time, then I'm going to charge for my time. obviously they see some kind of value. And I know these brands can make you feel like they don't value you at all. Some of them don't. Some of them just see you as a number. But at the end of the day, they reached out to you, so you got their attention some kind of way. So do not feel guilty for then in turn saying, okay, you need me, I need you to pay me. Like, at the end of the day, you cannot feel guilty for it. Before I end this video, I did just want to touch on the people, because I know us like seasoned YouTubers really do give y'all a hard time, and once like we get like the ball rolling and stuff like that, it does kind of like you forget the time where you were where they were. And I know that you'll see like YouTubers giving people who get free product and work for free a hard time, and it's like, yeah, stop that, like stop that. But with that being said, I remember what it was like. I remember my very first paid gig and just being like so excited that I got paid $100 for something that I would have took for free. But you have to put your big little girl and big little boy panties and drawers on and understand that this is a business. You have to start being the change that you want to see in your paycheck, okay? Like if you don't speak up, they won't either. Because I have people reaching out to me saying all these companies want to get me to work for free, and it's just like, newsflash, y'all, here I am at 80K and people still try to get me to work for free all the time. Like, that is not gonna change. I hope you guys know that that is not gonna change. No matter how many followers you have, people are still gonna try to get over on you. If you make sure that your first 4 things that you're doing, that your follower count is continuing to grow, that your followers are continuing to be genuine and real and engage with you, that you are posting quality content, that you are taking the time to make your content that people think is worth paying for, and that you're consistent, soon as they gone, the next email gonna be coming in, y'all. I promise. Like, you just have to stand in your value. So hopefully this video was helpful. If you have any questions or things that you want me to cover in part 2 of this, like how to be successful as a YouTuber series, leave it in the comment section below. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, you definitely should be a cousin, so make sure you hit that thumbs up button so I know that you care, and subscribe to my channel so I know that you're there. I'll see you in the next video.